What do you know? Let's go to Southfield. Jeff in Southfield's back. Jeff in Southfield is back the day before the big event. Jeff, what's going on?
Thank you for the vine, Jim. Jim, while most of the world was focused on the merger between the LIV Tour and the PGA, there was another merger happening in the world of golf. That's right, Adam Hawk's Nation Golf was merging with a homeless shelter. I guess Hawk thought that was more prideful than merging with his wife's parents' house. Hey, Hawk, while you're wondering how you're going to feed your broke ass today, I just want to remind you, you used to work for the Jim Rome Show. But no, you got tired of interviewing celebrities in front of an audience of millions. What a dull, boring grind that is. You wanted the thrill and excitement that can only come from cramming bubble envelopes with crappy golf hats. Yes, nothing's better for your marriage than having your wife go from saying, my husband is the executive producer of the premier show in all of radio, to saying, my husband fills cheap envelopes with cheap crap. You know what your wife's cramming into a cheap envelope, Hawk? Your divorce papers. Nice life choice, you jackass. You're a freaking idiot, Hawk. Speaking of idiots, hey, Mark in Boston, I saw you calling me crazy on Twitter. Hey, Mark, aren't you the guy who drove from Boston to Nebraska to get a vasectomy from a quote-unquote specialist, only to discover his office was a converted bathroom in the basement of a church, and the doctor's assistant was a chimpanzee, and you still went ahead with the procedure? You must really hate your kids, Mark. And Mark, I've never done anything as crazy or stupid as you getting that Jim Harbaugh tattoo. Mark, when bets involve real money, that's when you don't welch. When bets involve being drunk off your ass and Jim Harbaugh tattoos, it's understood that you can welch. How lacking in self-respect are you that you didn't realize that? Mark, on behalf of the entire world, we would rather legally change our names to Welchy McWelch than to get a tattoo of Jim Harbaugh. Mark, I'm going to repeat what I've told you before. We all know the real reason you're angry is because in response to your Jim Harbaugh tattoo, your wife tattooed her inner thigh with Chris Webber calling time out. Jim, here's some quick impressions before I go. Here's James in Portland's call tomorrow. Jimmy, my man. Instead of there being an Ask the Pros question, it should be the pros asking Alvy, how do you get so much bow chicka bunka bow bow, bow chicka bunka bow bow, stealing Silk's catchphrase and not getting called out for it? Camo! Here's Drizzle's call. Why nobody saying my name? 3 years nobody saying my name. Say my name. And here's Paul's dog's call. Jimmy, I got invited to play tennis, but I had to decline because I had a bad case of tennis elbow. Rock me, Romy. And finally, Jim, hey, Brad and Corona, I might not have my YouTube channel launched yet, but when I do, it's going to have a chance to do something your junk doesn't. Grow big!
Wow. Jeff in Southfield. All right, so there might have been some jungle pandering involved. A lot of impressions. A lot of energy. He's not currently holding. What do we do with that? What do we do with that? I'm going to let him in. Jeff in Southfield, you're in.
I've got a golden ticket.
I'm not going to tell you not to at me because I know you will. I just don't give a damn. He did make, listen, I don't want to contradict myself and be a hypocrite. He did make the best ever first call. He's been chasing that call ever since, but he's been trying. And I think that on the day of tomorrow, that call makes it better. Well, maybe not that call, but that guy. Because, man, that dude is weird. That dude is weird and all over the place. And I want things that are going to make it better day of. Now, Jeff, you're in but that does not guarantee you get on the air. Keep that in mind. I would say that about anybody. If we're being real, I'm not saying that about Brad. If we're being real, I'm not saying that about Lef. If we're being real, I'm not saying that about a small minority that has multiple straps. They're getting on the air. For the rest of you, just being in it does not guarantee you get on the air. But you can't win it unless you're in it. And Jeff in Southfield just weirded his way in. All right, Jeff, rest up. Get a good night's sleep.